Move 1. Bishopsgate to Moorfields. At 400 years old, the original hospital was starting to show its age, being described as very old, weak and ruinous, and too small and straight for keeping the greater number of lunatics therein at present. Although having enough space for roughly 59 patients, the writing was on the wall, time to move somewhere more appropriate and with hopefully fresher air. Construction of the new hospital at Moorfields, which is around here on a map, began in 1675 and was completed just over a year later, which was no mean feat. I mean, just look at the building that resulted. Designed by Robert Hooke, the hospital was a large, imposing building. The grand appearance was kind of a statement to the donors who had given money for the Moorfields site, showing success. It also acted as a billboard for more charitable payments. Don't forget, this building was pre-public funding of medical institutions, and as such, income was mainly from donors, with patients' fees only covering a small amount of the cost of operation. The hospital was rather hard to ignore. With its new, bigger size, it allowed more visitors to view the building, as well as accommodate more patients. This would be the beginning of his entry into infamy. But although the building looked something like a palace from the outside, on the inside life was tough. It had been built on poor foundations, and as such the building's grand and heavy facade pulled away from the walls, causing them to crack, allowing the elements into its long galleries and cells. It was rather like putting lipstick on a pig. Strangely, Bethlem was best known for allowing the public and casual visitors with no connection to the inmates to come in and view the patients. Visitors were allowed to gawp and rubberneck at those who called it home. This was used as a method of raising funds. One visitor would comment, "Thou shalt in Bethlem see one laugh" at the knocking of his head against a post. This public spectacle allowed playwrights to visit who would later use their experiences and the experiences of others from the hospital in a number of plays in which actors would tread the boards of the Curtain and the Theatre, two of London's biggest playhouses at the time. This helped further imprint the hospital into the British psyche. As such, the name would take another bastardisation from Bethlehem to Bethlem to Bedlam, an English shorthand for mayhem and confusion. Here is an example. Wetherspoons was Bedlam last night when they sold out of Carling. Difficult patients were called stark Bedlam mad. The hospital's treatment would take a dark turn in 1728 when James Monroe took over as the chief physician. He had thought treatment should involve beatings, starvation, and dunkings in ice-cold water baths. This would mark the beginning of the 125-year-long Monroe family dynasty at Bethlem, arguably one of the darkest times for the hospital. As the 18th century progressed, the straitjacket made its way onto the scene and were used to restrain the patient, whilst they were force-fed laxatives in order to quite literally expel any bad thoughts from the body. Another rather popular treatment was bleeding and leeching, where incisions were made on the patient's body to allow the blood to flow out. Treatment still focused around restraint and punishment for patient's behaviour.